Hi, I'm Phil. Welcome to my channel, Kicking It with Phil. Like, share, and subscribe, and get the notification bell. Hey you guys, what's up? We're kicking it again, and I got an incredible friend, an actor, a musician that he didn't tell anybody about, just doing all kinds of great things. And ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Shawn, Cotter, Peterson. What's up, man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Man, I am just amazed with you. You have done Carnegie Hall, you have gone over across seas doing Othello, and we met like a few years ago on an audition, and I didn't have a ride, and you just helped your brother out. You said, I understand, and you haven't changed. Your career is just going but you have still just leveled and down to earth.
Thank you.
So just tell them just a little bit about how you got started, then we'll talk about this music, and I want to know about Othello, and then we can talk about Patricia Jones.
Right on. Yeah, man. I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland.
My best friend, she is.
Really?
Yeah.
What's your friend's name?
Alana Barksdale. She's a singer.
She's a Barksdale. I'm related to some Barksdales. Maybe we're related.
Wow.
Yeah, man. So I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, and I came out here after college. I went to Vassar College. So in college, I studied theater and Africana studies. So I was a double major there.
Wow.
And I went to college. Speaking of music, I started playing piano at the age of 4, very, very, very early on. And when I went to college, I was going to be a music and theater major. And then after my first year, I just felt like I just didn't want to practice 4 or 5 hours a day. And I was glad to be out of the house and be in college. And I was like, I want to do other stuff, you know what I mean? So I still kept up with the music. I was the choir director at school. We had an a cappella choir on campus. And so I channeled my music stuff into that for a while. And we had a student theater company called the Ebony Theater Ensemble, and I was the artistic director for that, and I would help out with music for shows that we would do for them. And then I moved out to LA, and I started doing commercials pretty much within the first year or so I was out here. I started
You were booking like crazy.
Yeah, I was like the commercial guy for a long time. You know, me and like 2 or 3 other guys, we would kind of like tag team. Like,
Wow.
And so that kind of kept me afloat, you know what I mean? When I moved out here, I started waiting tables, and then I worked downtown at an energy company for a while doing database management and like, you know, populating the database, etc. And then I started doing a lot of commercials, and that had made it so that I didn't have to have a day job for a while. And while I was doing that, I started doing some print stuff, little print modeling jobs here and there, and I just started to do more film and television, you know. I mean, so I started off doing like half-hour shows, hour-long shows, anything that I could get my hands on, really.
Wow. Short
films, and then over the years it just kind of blossomed, you know, slowly but surely. It's been a slow burn, you know what I mean? It's not like I came out here and just hit right away, which I think probably in hindsight was probably better. Because a lot of times when you're in your early 20s and you hit and you get all this money, you don't really know what to do with it. You really don't know who you are as a person, you know what I mean? And so I've been able to kind of get a little piece of change here and there and kind of mess up a little bit, get a little bit more, and then know exactly how to better myself. You know, the more pieces of change I get, I'm better at how to manage it, you know. So I'm kind of grateful that I didn't really, you know, pop off right at the very beginning, because I'm in it for the long haul. You know what I mean? I didn't come out here to say, I'm going to make it, and then if I don't make it in 3 years, 4 years, then I will just leave. Like, no.
Well, you know a lot of actors, I'm going to give myself 2 years, I'm going to give myself 3 years, and
You can't do that. You can't do that because there is no business that you can get into that you're going to be the top of your game in 10 years. You can't become a doctor and then be the head of the hospital in 2 or 3 years. It takes you 20 years. So you have to look at it in the bigger trajectory of what the career is. You know what I mean? Some people, you know, hit in their career in their 50s, some in their 60s, some in their 20s. You know, some in their 80s. You know what I mean? There was a woman in Black Panther from South Africa that, you know, started acting in her 80s and was up there with, you know, Angela Bassett and, you know, the late Chadwick Boseman. And she was like, you know what? She thought she didn't think that she was too old to do it. So therefore, she was able to do it because she believed in herself.
Wow. Would you tell a lot of young actors, people that you have to believe in themselves?
I definitely would. I mean, I think if anything, the frustrations that I may have had in the years have been because I've always known that I was going to be okay and that I was going to do well. So in those times when I wasn't doing so hot, I was kind of mad. Wow. You know what I mean? Kind of mad at the world, kind of mad at the universe for not seeing, mad at other people for not seeing what I know to be true. Yeah. You know, but that's a humbling thing, and we all need to be humble every once in a while.
Well, I was humble when you gave me a ride and you barely knew me. Just some actor sitting in the thing. Oh, I don't know how to get home. Help. Would you say, oh, let me help this poor actor?
You know why? Because you know what? I had been on, I think I might have just gotten a car at that point in time. Like I had been on the bus for a couple of years out here. And people always say, you can't do LA on the bus. Man, I've done LA on the bus. It's not easy. Yeah. But you can do it. Wow. You just have to plan your day out. You just have to, you gotta, get that timetable, and now you can do it online. But at the time, you have to get the actual hardcore and like, when do I need to be there and backtrack here? You can do things if you really, really want to do them.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that's what I try to tell people. No matter what it is you want to do, you have to believe that you can do it, and just sit still and figure it out.
Okay, now tell me a little bit about Othello.
Macbeth. Yes. Macbeth. I got involved with a theater company called the Oxford Shakespeare Company. Yeah. And I found them on Backstage. They put out a casting. They put out a casting for people to audition to be in some Shakespeare productions. Basically, what they do is they put Shakespeare productions on in the place where the play is supposed to have taken place. So the first one I did was The Merchant of Venice in Venice, Italy. Wow. So you had to submit yourself doing Shakespeare, and I had done some Shakespeare in a while. I hadn't done it in a while, but I had a Shakespeare monologue from college. Yeah. I was in college. And so I just pulled up my old monologue and recorded myself and sent it in, and the guy, the artistic director and director, was impressed and offered me a role. And so I went to Venice, Italy that year, and you have to learn the play before you go, and so when you get there, you rehearse, and then you put it up.
You rehearse by yourself?
You rehearse with the other people that are cast, once you're there.
Okay.
But you have to learn your lines before you go.
Ooh, okay.
And then you have some time to rehearse with everybody and get the blocking together, and very, very loose wardrobe and stuff like that. Nothing major, but so I did the Merchant of Venice, and then the next year I happened to go online and I saw that they were doing Macbeth, and I said, or I should say the Scottish play. Thank God we're not in the theater, quote unquote. Okay. But, and I hit him up and I said, hey, I see that you're doing the Scottish play. Are you finished casting? He was like, well, what role would you like to do? And I said, well, can I be the lead? He said, yes, you can. Because the play is double cast, so that there are two sets of actors. So all the work wasn't on me. There was another guy playing the same role, a different cast. But I still got to go to Scotland and do it in Edinburgh. And then we did it out in a town called Burnham, which is where a big battle takes place. Wow. And so we were there for a little while.
What was that like?
It was kind of...
Was it cold?
It was in the summer, so it wasn't cold, but it's a little chillier there than it is for us here. Yeah. But it was like being in a fairy tale. Because even getting off the plane, I got off the plane and I took the train from the airport into the city of Edinburgh. And on the little tram that they have, I saw rabbits and flowers and butterflies, and I was like, this is like magic. There's lots of magic in life if you just sit back and just take a breath and look. It's always going on around you. Wow. And that just happened to be one of those days where I was a fish out of water, literally. I just was somewhere I had never been before by myself. And I was just sitting there looking out the window, and I was like, this is like, I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing something that I'm supposed to be doing. Because it all felt right. Nothing felt bad about it. Nothing.
And how long were you there?
I was there for a couple weeks.
Wow. Yeah. Nice.
So it was phenomenal.
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you.
So tell us, I want to know a little bit more about the piano.
Yeah.
Tell me about the Carnegie Hall.
That came, it was a fluke. It was kind of a fluke.
I say he plays the piano, what?
Well, I started playing piano at the age of 4, and I played all the way up until I got to my first year of college. And then after my first year of college, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And so I just didn't play it for a long time because I was young and silly and was like, I'm an actor. And part of it is like, people always would tell you, you need to concentrate. You can only do one thing really well. You don't want to be, a master of nothing.
Yeah.
So concentrate on one thing. So I said I'm going to concentrate on acting. And because that was my concentration, I just didn't tell people that I was a pianist. You know what I mean? Classically trained. I just didn't say anything about it for years and years and years. And I got a piano from a friend of mine who, you know, she had an upright piano and she was moving, and she said she sold it to me for like $200.
Wow, what?
And so I had a piano in my apartment, and so I would help. And so over the years, it kind of crept up on me. Like I helped people out for auditions for plays, and I would say, "Oh, you can come over and I can coach you for this or whatever." But I never played in public. And then over the years, I got married, and my wife, who is a musician, was like, "You need a real piano. Like this upright is cute, but it's like you need to." So we invested and got a piano for the house, and I still wasn't playing regularly. But over a couple of years, I started to play a little more often, and I told my piano teacher from when I was in high school, middle school, high school, she was my teacher for years. I told her that I was playing, again, you know, little things here and there. And one day she sent me an email about a piano competition, or music competition, that she suggested, by sending me the email, she suggested maybe I can submit for it. It was another one of those things online where you submit yourself playing a piano, a piece, a selection, and in your entry fee or whatever. And so I did it more as an exercise.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I need to do? I need to get off book, I need to play this thing. If I can do it 3 times on camera with no music, I'm gonna send the best take in, which is what I did.
Yeah.
And this was probably in September. A month or 2 went by. I got an email from them, but I was like, whatever, it's just probably, you know, blah, blah. So then I get another email from them and says, well, the winners from the competition, please let us know if they're going to perform at the winners concert at Carnegie Hall. And I was like, whatever, I'm not gonna check it. And then a day or 2 later, I was like, well, we'll see, you know, because they would have called me if I won or something like that. So I looked, you know, and I was in the adult category, so my category was listed last. So I read all the names of the winners and winners and winners. And down at the bottom of the list, they were like, you know, and in 3rd place in the adult category was Shawn Carter Peterson. And I was like, what? Like, so I didn't really believe it at first, and I was sitting in my house.
I believe it.
What does this mean? And so then I reread all the emails that they sent, and it said, you know, we have a winners concert at Carnegie Hall on December 10th, and let us know if you're going to perform. It was that simple, like, let you know, like, of course I would be there. But okay, you know, so I went into the bedroom and I told my wife, I said, so, I think I'm performing at Carnegie Hall. She said, what? What do you mean? I said, well, and I told her what I'd done, because I'm one of those people, like, I just like to ride under the radar. Like, I don't really tell people what I'm doing. I said, well, I entered this competition, and the winner's concert is at Carnegie Hall, and apparently I got 3rd place. So apparently, so she told me to show her the email, because she was like, wait a minute, I know, you just kind of gloss over things. And she was like, well, I'll be dang. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I said, yeah. So then I had to call my piano teacher and tell her, I said, well, that thing that you sent me, I won. So now I got to go perform at Carnegie Hall. And I hadn't performed in over 10 years in public. So I was freaked out. So she was like, okay, well, this is what you do. You got to practice every day. And then, you know, and then what you're going to do is you're going to have 2 or 3 mini concerts at your house.
Okay.
She said, invite people over. Don't be out there, like, treat it as if it's a performance. You know, have people over, have little food or whatever, have your wife do the introductions, have her call you in, and you come out there and you do it as if you're performing like you used to back when you were 17, 18 years old. Which I did. I called up neighbors and friends of mine and, you know, had my little wine and cheese, and it was a holiday, so people had family members in town. So I did 2 concerts at my house, and it was just the one piece that I was playing, so the concert wasn't but 7 minutes or, you know,
come on now.
applause, you know what I mean?
Wow.
And so that was what got me warmed up and ready to go. And then I had to fly to New York, and it was, so today is the 11th, the 12th? 12. It was 2 days ago. It was my anniversary, and it popped up in my Facebook memories, and I was like, magic again, magic. Like, it just felt like when I got there. I remember I had a video, I guess, of when we landed at JFK, and it was snowing, and it was beautiful, and I just had a slow-mo video of the snowflakes falling outside the window, and I was like, this is like magic. And you know, and I caught the train into the city, and then I got off the subway, and I was walking to the place where I was staying, and it was snowing, and there were trees, and I was like, this.
I want to see some of those pictures, brother.
I will. I'll show them to you. Yeah. I'll show them to you. It was kind of like the little signs that you get when you're doing the things that you're supposed to be doing. You know. So I can say that I'm blessed to kind of be able to listen and try to follow my heart as best I can. You know, you don't always do it, and you always know when you should have done something, because something always lets you know You should have turned left when you turned
So
right.
you're telling them, don't quit, don't quit.
Don't quit. Follow your gut and take a minute and sit still, because you will always get. Some people say messages from the stars. Some people say God. Some people say the universe. Whatever it is for you, however that resonates with you, listen, because there's always talking to you.
All right. Well, you are reoccurring right now on Patricia Cotter Jones. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. It's a show called Stuck With You.
Okay.
It's on the UMC network, and this is their third season. It stars Timon Durrett, who is from Queen Sugar as well, who I've known for a few years. I moved out here and he was, on the scene as well. And it's funny because I play his younger brother, which is weird because he reminded me when we were on set a couple weeks ago. He was like, "Do you remember we were at so-and-so's party and somebody was like, y'all should play brothers?" And I was like, "I do remember that." He was like, "Here we are." And I was like, "Yeah." Okay. Yeah, and it was a blessing, Patricia just texted me. I'd done a short with her a few years ago. She's also from Baltimore. Yeah. So I feel like we might have met through the Baltimore crew. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people out here from Baltimore.
Yeah, I was running into a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of us out here randomly because it's so far away. But, there's something in the water. I don't know. Yeah. But we met through mutual friends, and she asked me to be in a short of hers maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
And I run into her from time to time at film festival events or theater events or whatever. Just being artists on the scene. Yeah. And she just texted me randomly 2-3 months ago, like, "Hey, give me your your representations number. I have something for you." I said, "Okay." And that was it, and then I got an email from my agent saying, "Hey, they want to cast you, as a recurring character on this show. Are you interested?" And I was like, "Well, yeah."
Yes, you are.
When you have somebody call you up and say, "Here's a job for you."
Yeah.
So, and that's how that happened. And so I'm recurring, and we just wrapped the season last week, and I'm excited. I can't wait for everybody to see it. And, it's a fun character, and
tell us a little bit about the character.
The character is he's a young financial guy from New York City who comes out to visit his big brother, who is a Hollywood type.
Okay.
And so I'm just young and single and out to mingle, and that causes some friction between us. Unbeknownst to me, at some point. That's all I can say. But
that's good.
But yeah, you know what I mean. So there's a little drama, and then we also have the same father, but he and the dad don't get along too well, and I'm the favorite son. So there's some family drama going on with that.
Nice.
So yeah, it's fun.
I can see that going along a lot of places.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
So you got the Jaded Earring coming out.
Yeah, the Jaded Earring coming out next year. It's a film with Hugh Jackman.
Yes.
And Tandy Newton.
Yes.
And I did a couple days on that last November, so probably would have come out this year, but
with all the stuff.
So they pushed it to next year, and it's a fun film. It takes place in the future, but it's kind of like a 30s, 40s film. Yeah. So it's a retro but futuristic retro type of film. Yeah. And I play a musician. So things just keep on coming up. So
I love it. Now there's something in Hollywood. A lot of these relationships and things don't work out. But you are married and have a variety show that you're doing with Shawn and Variety Live.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, the variety show came. It came out of the quarantine, really. Yeah. Once we got locked down in March, my wife, Cy Smith is her name. Yeah. She's a fantastic singer. Yes. And she tours a lot. Well, she was grounded, so she was stuck home with me. And the dog. and the first couple of weeks of the quarantine, she decided that she wanted to do a live show on Facebook because she's got to perform. That's her instrument, her muscle, and that's her happy place. Yeah. So she decided to do a live show on Facebook as a fundraiser for a youth organization that deals with music. Yeah. And the Fernando Pullum Center in South LA. Okay. And so she raised a bunch of money for them, and I was like, wow, that's inspiring, to just do something and to just do it in the house. Yeah. So I was like, well, we could do something, and I said, well, I thought about it for a few days, and I said, well, what if we did like a variety show? I can act, you can act, we can do little shorts, because I also direct, so we can do little short sketches, we can do live sketches, we both sing, we both play piano. We could do something here.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did. We pulled it together in 2 weeks. We did 2 pre-recorded sketches, some live stuff. I played the piano. I did a Shakespeare monologue with her doing something silly in the background. We did some.
I want to see it. I want to see it.
I'll send you a couple links.
Okay.
You can see the first 2 episodes.
Oh yes.
And so we've done 3 so far. We did 1 in April, 1 in May, then we did 1 for our anniversary, which was in July, but we did it in August. And we're doing 1 for Christmas on the 23rd, well, for the holidays. So,
nice.
you know, it's a way to keep our juices flowing, to keep ourselves from getting bored with each other, to keep ourselves from getting bored with just life in general, and to kind of give back to people at home who are trying to figure out what's next, you know, what to do, and try to bring some joy into other people's homes. That's the fun part, you know what I mean? After the first one, people were really like, thank you so much for just bringing something different, you know, because after a while, people are just tired of Netflix and Amazon. They want, you know, something different. And we invite you into our home, and, you know, we're a little silly for 45 minutes. And then you can go on and do whatever else you're doing. But,
all right. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Well, man, I just enjoy just you coming. Your whole being is an inspiration. And any word of advice for people who are in relationships in Hollywood?
Yes, honesty and openness. It's easy to get frustrated with each other, especially if one of you is working more than the other. But you know, it's not their fault they're working. You should be glad somebody is, you know, paying the bill too. You know what I mean? But you know, honesty and just you have to be honest with yourself about the things that you want in your relationship, the things that you want out of your relationship. And if you're honest with yourself, then you can be honest with your partner, and you guys can have adult conversations about what's going on. What you want to go for a walk? No, I don't want to go for a walk. You mad today? You not mad today? Like, what's going on? Talk about it. You know, it's not always, you know, flower and roses, but you know, it doesn't have to be horrible, and they don't have to be short-lived either. You know, a lot of times the short-lived stuff is about ego. If you have to, again, humble yourself and listen to the signs. And when it's over for people, it's over for people. That it's, you know, honor that too. Like, you know, if you feel like it's not working with your partner, then be honest with them and respect them enough to not do foul things on the side. You know what I mean? In the meantime, I would say if you can create together, because that's one of the best gifts that you can do.
Beautiful, yay! Well, Shawn, Cotter, Peterson, I just want to say thank you for kicking it with me.
And thank you for letting me kick it.
Woo!